clean up my mess. Now, what I'm going to meal prep right now is going to be salmon in the crock pot, and this is going to be so good and so simple. So I got this salmon from Kroger. It's the Wild Pacific salmon. There's roughly 5 servings per container, and each 4-ounce serving has 140 calories. Step 1 is to take it out and put it in the crock pot. Keep all that juice in there. And this, you can't really tell probably, but it is cut into little portions. Hopefully they're about 4-ounce portions. Alrighty, now we'll set that aside and make the sauce. This is not cut through very well, so this is why you need some good kitchen scissors. Kitchen scissors, and cut right through there. They started to cut through some of them, but to keep it intact, they didn't go all the way through, just guidelines. Now to make the stuff to put over that. Oh, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to get the rice going for later. So to make the rice, I have minute brown rice. I don't eat a whole heck of a lot of this. So here's the conversion right here. 1 cup of cooked rice has about 180 calories. I never eat a full cup at a time, I don't think. I mean, that's quite a bit of rice. But anyway, so here's how I cook it. Super simple, turns out fine every time. I just use the same amount of rice to the same amount of water. So I have a cup of rice there. That's enough. And I'll do a cup of water. Give it a little shake. I'm going to microwave this for 5 minutes, and then when it's done, I'm going to open up the microwave really quick, put the lid on, close the microwave really quick, and let it sit for like 20 minutes. Then I fluff it with a fork. Sometimes I have to put it on for another 2 or 3 minutes after it starts cooling down just to heat it back up. Now for what I'm going to pour onto my fish, this is super simple. Normally I would use chicken broth, but I had beef broth already open in the refrigerator, so I'm just going to use a little bit. It doesn't take that much anyway. About 1/2 cup. I'm going to put a couple good squeezes of Kroger Dijon mustard in there. Oh man, I didn't shake it, and I got that liquid stuff in there. I should have shaked it. I mean, I'm old enough to know. I'm old enough to know. Still gets me every time. Okay. Couple good squeezes of mustard. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of lemon juice. Now I'm going to put a couple spices in it. Oh, let's put just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in there. Again, about a tablespoon-ish, give or take a tablespoon. I'm going to put some chives in. A little bit of parsley, some tarragon, not too much. Don't know if you've ever had tarragon before, but it tastes like fennel or like black licorice. So I definitely don't want too much, just a hint of it. And paprika just for a little bit of color. I don't really measure anything, to be honest. I just put some shakes in there. I don't even know what I'm shaking in there right now. I think I just picked up the tarragon. Yeah, that was the tarragon. It's not coming out very fast. Chives. Nice oniony flavor. And then I'll sprinkle the paprika on the top. I'm not going to mix it with this. That's it. I'm going to dump that in there. Give it just a little stir so we can mix the mustard up. Make my mouth water. If you like salt, you can add salt. I don't really put salt in too many things, but I know most people like it, so. But most people also get too much salt. Okay, that's good. Alrighty, I am going to cook this on high for 2 hours with the lid on. Actually, I'm going to slice up a couple pieces of lemon and lay it on top, just so it has a little more lemon flavor. Got to get the seeds out because you don't want to chew into one of those. Check them one more time. There's one hiding in there. Ready to cook for 2 hours on high. I'm gonna meal prep some breakfast sandwiches for the coming up week using the ones I have right now are Thomas 100% whole wheat English muffins, and these have 120 calories per English muffin. So I try to get the ones that are light if I can, that have 100 calories per English muffin, but they never have those at my local Kroger. They're always sold out, so these are a good alternative. So I have 2 packs of these. They're 6 in a pack, and I'm gonna try to make 12 of them today, but I might only make 6. We'll see. I have this little crappy 2-slice toaster, but just ordered myself a 4-slice toaster on Amazon, and I think it's gonna be here tomorrow, so that's exciting. Anyway, I'm gonna pre-toast all these, and I like them really, really toasted, almost burnt, so I'm gonna get them all toasted, then just set them aside. They can set aside for an hour if you need them to. There's one getting started, and check out this. Got the lid on the rice, and I'm gonna turn it back on now since it's been like 5 minutes since it stopped. I'm gonna turn it back on for a minute. I'll just leave the lid on just to heat it back up. First one is done. Take another one and put it in. Maybe make it a little more toasty. And just let it cool down, because when you're prepping breakfast sandwiches, everything has to be completely cooled down before you put it in baggies to freeze, or it'll get ice crystals on it, make moisture in the bag. The eggs have to be cooled down. The Canadian bacon that I'm gonna put on it has to be cooled down. A long way to go in a 2-slice toaster. But it's my day off, and this is the best day to meal prep, so rather than wait for my toaster to get here tomorrow, I'm just gonna get it done the old-fashioned way. You give this a little fluff with the fork. Yeah, that's fine. So that can just chill out in there for however long I need it to chill out in there. I know you're not supposed to take the lid off of a crock pot, but I'm just gonna give this a little stir before it gets to where it's going to break apart if I try to stir it. I'm going to get the eggs cooking. I'm going to start out with a little bit of nonstick canola oil. Then I'm going to crack 12 eggs into the pan. And then I'm going to break them all apart. And I'm going to put the lid on them so that they steam and stay kind of fluffy. And I'm going to put just a tiny little handful of water in there. I'm going to heat up some Canadian bacon. What I have here is the Kroger Canadian bacon. For 4 slices, you have 60 calories. I usually only use about 3 slices. You do the math. But I'm gonna heat it all up in a pan, that way it can cool off, because as I said, everything has to be cool before you put it all into baggies, and then put it in the freezer. I'm just gonna spray my pan with a little bit more canola oil. And I have it kind of on high. I'm just barely gonna toast it, not toast it. I'm just barely gonna cook it for like 30 seconds. Look at that. Just trying to take a little bit of the moisture off and just kind of brown it up a little bit. I don't want a whole lot of moisture on these sandwiches when I freeze them, because then, as I said, they get ice crystals. So kind of actually trying to dry them out a little bit. This might seem tedious, but it's so worth it, because this is a huge time saver for breakfast in the morning, especially if you work Monday through Friday. It really does not take that much time. I'm going to turn my eggs off now. Little tip for you, always lift the pan lid away from you so the steam goes away from you. See, You might not know exactly what you're working with here. Just try to cut it into 12 equal pieces. It doesn't have to be exact. Now I'm going to set these on a plate so they can also cool off. "12 equal pieces of eggs. These eggs are 70 calories a piece. All right, next step, assembly. These are all toasted and ready to go. Everything is all cooled down for the most part. I still see a little steam on the eggs, and ready to start assembling here in a couple minutes. So get your baggies ready. I usually keep some of these Laughing Cow light cheese at work, and they're 30 calories a piece. And when I forget to put them on my breakfast sandwich, it's really bone dry, but you could probably just put a bunch of mustard on it and it would be okay if you don't like cheese. 1 English muffin, 1 piece of Canadian bacon, 1 egg, 1 more piece of Canadian bacon. Put the lid on, put it in a baggie, put it in the freezer. And there we have it, 12 days worth of breakfast. So I usually will put something with these when I eat it. Like usually I'll have a yogurt or some grapefruit or some diced berries or something. Let's review the calorie count for these. So the English muffin was 120 calories. The egg was 70 calories. That puts us at 190 calories. There's 2 pieces of Canadian bacon on each one. And I have to check the trash. What did I say was on those? So 2 pieces is 30 calories. So 190 plus 30 is 220 calories. Don't forget the Laughing Cow cheese at 30 calories. So that's 250 calories. All you have to do is microwave it for a minute. I usually take it out of the baggie and wrap it in a paper towel. Microwave it for 1 minute. Then I spread on my Laughing Cow cheese. Then I have 250 calories. Not bad. Crockpot right here. I'm going to take it out and put it on a pizza pan that I'm going to spray with a little canola oil. How do you think it tastes? So good. Like everything I eat, so good. I'm going to get rid of these pieces of lemon because I don't need them anymore. Put them in my egg water pan for now. And I'm left with a bunch of juice, and I'm going to make a little lemon sauce out of this to go on top of this. So I'm going to put a little bit of paprika on it because I like it. I like my food to look really good. And I'm going to broil it with some paprika for like 1 minute or maybe 2 minutes on like 450-ish, something like that. I'm touching my freaking face with fish fingers. Okay, it's almost shower time, so who cares? I mean, I did just rinse my hands before I went and got my spices, so there's that. I just like the look of paprika on things that I'm cooking. Broil it in the oven for no more than 2 minutes, like max, because it'll dry it out. And make sure your oven is completely hot before you start the timer, before you put it in and start that 2-minute timer. Now I'm going to get rid of all this mess. You don't even have to clean it. I made the eggs in this. You don't even have to clean it that much. So we're going to dump the sauce in here. I'm going to get this cooking on high. I can't find my flour anywhere. So I need to make some broccoli anyway. I'm going to hold off on this for a second. I'm not going to put my fish into broil just yet. I'm going to steam some broccoli while I keep looking for the flour. So I'm just going to put water in here. Doesn't have to be that much water, like 2 inches. Have some broccoli. Put a lid on it. Steam it for like 10 minutes. I'm just going to say I just tried a little bite of this. It's so lemony. So good. Everything is so good that I eat. I might just reduce it down a little bit, cook just a little bit of the moisture out of it, and just eat it like this. I mean, I was only gonna put like a half a tablespoon of flour in here to kind of thicken it up, but it'll be fine just like this. If I find the flour, I'll do that. If not, whatever. It's been about 5 minutes or 4 minutes, so I'm just gonna flip it over and go like 5 more minutes and then turn the heat off. And it's fine to just sit there for however long I need it to, 10 minutes, whatever, 15 minutes. The rice is still in the microwave. I took just a small handful of water, sprinkled it on there because right before I'm ready to heat it up, I'll heat it up for like 1 minute, refluff it with my fork, then it'll be time to eat. I'm just reducing this down, so about 5 minutes on high, shaking it often because it will burn, just cooking out some moisture, making it a little more potent. It's so good though. One of my favorite chicken dishes is chicken piccata with lemon and capers, and this kind of reminds me of that. That's about what I'm going for. Kind of cooked it down a little bit. I don't need a lot in there, but I don't want to cook it all the way out. So that is what I'll just put on top of it after I broil the fish. I just put a little lid on that because we're not ready to broil it yet. Right, this sauce has cooled off a little bit and it's a much different consistency now. So full of flavor. Broccoli is good to go. So I'm heating up the rice and I'm gonna broil that fish now and put everything together, and it's time to eat. He is gonna have ice water, and I think I'm gonna have some silk almond and coconut milk. I'm gonna have 1 cup of it at 30 calories, and I'm really interested in that calcium right there, 35%. There is calcium in broccoli also. Having it over ice. That's fine. I'm gonna serve this with 1/2 cup, 60 calories, sliced peaches and extra light syrup. And there you have it. So I packed my lunch for tomorrow. You'll have to stay tuned and see what that is. And my final act of the night is drinking my Metamucil 4-in-1 fiber. This has 2 teaspoons, 30 calories. I use a little bit more than that because I use 3 teaspoons, which is a tablespoon. And I put it in a few cups of water. Anyway, time to get the bedtime process started. Just kind of relaxing a little bit, and I have a little sweet tooth, so I think I'm gonna have an Activia strawberry yogurt at 90 calories. That was good. I'm exhausted. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I'm not your baby girl. I'm gonna